Very much. Great speaking with you, and good to have you on the program. Let's shift focus to the cement space. I mean, stocks were all a buzz yesterday, between 5 and 10%, depending on what you looked at. ACC, Ambuja, India Cements, etc. Jefferies has put the spotlight on the cement space in its recent note. Nigel is here to detail that out for us. Nigel, hi, morning.
Morning. Well, Jefferies has come out with some interesting points. They believe that the cement industry on the whole is moving from a desperate seller market to aggressive buyer market. And so they say that there could possibly be various mergers and acquisitions that could take place as companies look to scale up from here. Smaller companies, they have two choices. Either, in fact, they fight with the leading players, or they sell out and they make their money and, in fact, move out of the system itself. Now, they believe that there is a wave of consolidation which could be possible because the current large names, that's the industry leaders, they look to garner their market share, while you have a new entrant. That's the Adani group that's come in there, and they are creating all the buzz in the space as of now. Remember, in the last few years, Ultratech Cement, that used to be the sole big bidder out there. Suddenly, you have a whole host of new entrants that have come in there, namely the JSW group as well as the Adani group. Coupled with them, you have the others, Dalmia as well as Shree Cement, as well as Ultratech that are in there. So suddenly, you have these five big players who, a number should come up for you on the screen with their current capacity and where they look to head. Shree, remember, in the past, they've been rather conservative with regard to M&A, but they as well have been making positive sounds now with regard to maybe possible acquisitions in various parts of the country. So it makes things far more interesting. In terms of Jeffrey, when and where and what's the quantum they're going with? Well, they believe that close to around 50 million tons of capacity can change hands in the next 2 to around 3 years or so. So that's what Jeffries has to say. Let's stay tuned whether or not the current excitement will lead to some kind of deals, or in fact, it'll just, fall by the wayside. Back to you.
Okay, coming back into the spotlight after a really long time, that's the cement space. But the stocks have been clocking in some solid gains. Nirmal Bang has written a report on the sector. They are turning positive on the space again. This is because they believe incremental demand will outpace supply over the next 3 years, and also because they see cost pressures receding. To discuss this, we have Mangesh Bhadang, the research analyst at Nirmal Bang Institutional Equities. Mangesh, good morning and thanks for joining in. Due to paucity of time, just wanted to quickly run through your views on the cement space. Real estate is also picking up in a big way, which means, more demand for cement. Tell us, what are your top picks in this sector and what kind of volume growth do you foresee?
So for the industry, I think for the next 2 to 3 years, we can expect at least 8% demand CAGR, which is one of the highest that we have seen in the past few years. And because this is a pre-election year, it's a FY24 put positive surprisingly. That's what we expect. In terms of top picks, we like Ultratech in the large cap space. And in the mid cap space, we like Birla Corp, JK Lakshmi and Vivoco. And then we like Sagar in the small cap space.
Mangesh, as Jeffries highlights, an aggressive wave of M&A is possible. Do you agree with that? And to your mind, which are the companies which could be in the mix?
So historically, in the cement industry, there have been a lot of talks of consolidation over the past many years, but we have not seen it happen meaningfully. But I think a few hands could change in this process, wherein wherever there are succession issues, or wherever the existing management has not been able to run the operations profitably or sustainably. I think those are the ones, but I think there are only 3 or 4 names that come to mind. Obviously, I'll not be able to take the names because of we don't know anything about it yet. But I don't see a large scale consolidation happening in the industry for sure. You would still have regional as well as smaller players operating in each region, in my view.
Okay, so you said you're upgrading the cement demand growth forecast. Earlier, you were looking at 6.5%, and now you're 7.9%. So which are the biggest beneficiaries of this?
So we have actually turned quite positive, and in fact, even the channel checks are suggesting that East, along with Central, could be the regions which would grow the highest for the next 2 years. So we have seen Eastern region, demand faltering over the past couple of years because of multiple temporary reasons, be it weather related, be it sand mining related, or be it transport or logistic related. And also obviously there were COVID related shocks as well. But over the next 2 years, I think these two regions can grow in double digits, and that is what is driving this growth higher. And with the beneficiary, I think we are looking at some of the East-based players like Nivoco, and then to a certain extent JK Lakshmi and Birla Corp to ride this growth.
Okay. How do you approach ACC and Ambuja from here? You believe that Ambuja has run ahead of itself, and is that why you have a sell rating on the stock? You prefer ACC over Ambuja?
Yeah, so it's a difficult question, to be honest, answering on ACC and Ambuja at the moment. But I'll try to do my best. So the way I look at both these stocks is, I think Dani Group has a lot to do. They would be merging these two companies together, and then they would lay out the plan in terms of what they want to do in terms of capacities or efficiencies in future. So there is still a bit of lack of clarity in the market right now. And I think one can assume certain things in terms of what they can do and what they have done in the past with the other sectors that they have entered. And that's what extrapolation is happening in the market right now. So I would still wait for some clarity on it. I think this Friday there is a board meeting, and post which we would be able to take a really good call on it.
All right, Mangesh, we'll leave it there today. Thanks a lot for joining us. The pre-open has settled 42 points higher on the Nifty and about 128 higher on the Nifty Bank. NTPC and Shree Cement are the top two gainers, and Hindalco